Good evening, everyone. It's been a while. Feels like a while, even though it's been only 4 days. I have never gone live at this unusual hour, but we have a very unusual guest, so it was worth staying up. Oh, give me 1 second. I'm just repinning the comment. Hello, hello. Let me know where you guys from. I'm gonna give you 1 more second to let you pop up, say hi. Let me know where you're joining from. Oh, very sweet. We have, yeah, right. We have a very special guest, as you guys know. And let's go. Let's see if he's here already or not yet. Well, wait a second. Vishen Lakhiani is the founder of MindValley, who will also be, Alberta will be, hi Vishen, okay, perfect. Founder of MindValley and an incredible person who single-handedly managed to motivate me recently. And let's see if we can connect. Fingers crossed. Hi.
Hi, Aggie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me live with your audience.
Oh,
You've got a massive following. This is really cool.
I think everyone's asleep at this point and I'm wearing PJs, but I'm so happy to catch you because you're in Malaysia, right?
Yes, I am. I'm in Malaysia right now.
Okay. So we met before and I had this image of you as an ultra successful, but also very humble person. And then I started to learn your story and I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad for this guy. You probably had more failures in your life than anyone I know of. And just listening to it, I felt tired. And I would be
I want to keep some of those failures buried under the carpet, but
I was like, how can this all happen to one person? Because I was like, you're so humble and so light and so bright. So I wanted you to help my audience deal with failure because you are the person of all the people I can possibly think of.
Sure. Well, this is your audience, so I'll let you take this any way you want. You can ask questions. You can have people post questions. Now, again, I'm new to this. This is, I think, probably maybe only my second time I've gone live in a dialogue like this on Instagram. Perfect. So I don't know, is my audience seeing this as well?
Yes. Yeah.
So this will be live on my channel as well. I know that sounds like a stupid question, but
no.
I'm relatively
not at all.
new
So
with
if
this.
anyone is coming from Vishen's channel, say hi, please, and tell us where you're from. Yeah.
Great. So and then the topic that we're going to talk about is how to be unfuckwittable and deal with failure. Love it.
Two things you know about. I know that your story of failure is very long. So if we can give people a bit of a shorter version of what happened to you literally.
Want me to summarize my failures? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. I'm just trying to adjust my seating position so I can see you guys better. So, a couple of things. The first thing is that everything that you're feeling right now as you're going through this quarantine period, right, is quite normal. It's a crazy time in the world right now. And I was recently live with 900 of my students from the MindValley community. The MindValley community is large. We have about 12 million students, but 900 of them had joined me in a particular Zoom call a couple of weeks back, and it was astonishing. So many people are going through challenging times, worried about money, worried about their businesses because the economy is tanking. But one of the most unique things is that we are entering a time of uncertainty, and this produces the mind and the brain, including the book Stealing Fire. But he also wrote a lot of books about the future. His most recent book is called The Future is Faster Than You Think. And he said it's so common that people are feeling fears right now because of the release of chemicals in your brain, such as norepinephrine, which in small doses actually helps you focus. But when you're facing an exponential threat, every day we open the news, we read about COVID-19 cases going up. We see politicians unable to agree. If you read the US news today, you'll see that there is disagreement between governors and mayors, between the political parties, and this creates a certain and an even more intense type of anxiety. Now, the result of this increase in norepinephrine in the brain, when it's in too high doses, is that we feel paralyzed. Because literally, what Kotler said is that the brain is going into fight or flight mode. If we were ancient humans, not even ancient, if we were humans 100,000 years ago, when we were on the savannas of Africa, right? And we suddenly heard a lion roar, all of a sudden, our options are limited by our brain. We either flee, we either get paralyzed, so we stay completely still so we don't get found and eaten, or we fight. So when we're in a situation like this, what happens is your brain actually starts limiting your options. You either become paralyzed. Now, how we experience that paralysis in the modern world is we procrastinate or we feel a lack of focus. So that's one. The second thing is you fight, you get anxiety, you feel anxiety, you start having issues with your roommates or the people you're with. This is why, if you notice right now, divorce rates are going up. They are shooting up because people are in this more tense mode, and many couples are locked in a house together for a long extended period of time. Or you flee, you want to escape. And how that might manifest is depression, sadness, anxiety, all of these things that just make you feel really, really uneasy. So there is a way to overcome this. There is a way to control what's going on in your brain. And this is the essence of the word unfuckwithable. So in my book, for those of you who have read my first book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, I talk about the concept of being unfuckwithable. And really, I didn't coin that word. It started out as an internet meme. I simply tried to, based on the definition of the meme, which is essentially you feel, actually, let me pull it up right now. I'm in front of my laptop. Let me read you the exact internet meme as homage to the person who coined it, whoever this person is. So it means when you're truly at peace and in touch with yourself, and nothing anyone says or does bothers you, and no negativity or drama can touch you. That's really important right now. And in this era of quarantine, we got to expand that a bit. It's when you're truly at peace and in touch with yourself, and nothing anyone says or does bothers you, and nothing you read about in the world that you cannot control bothers you, and no negativity or drama can touch you. And this includes negativity or drama that you may get from the news media, or that you may get from relatives who are sharing conspiracy theories. Yesterday, I was in a call with Mel Robbins, who is America's #1 mindset coach, and I was interviewing Mel. Say that again.
5-second
5-second rule, exactly. Yeah, so Mel's really famous, and I was interviewing Mel, and Mel said, "Look, you don't have to be watching the news. I can tell you what you're going to see in the news. You're going to see that COVID deaths are going up. You're going to see that politicians disagree. You're going to see that we haven't found a vaccine yet. And don't worry, when they do find a vaccine, all your friends are going to be messaging you about it." So she said, just turn off the news, because you can't control that. But you can control how you show up every day. You can control how you feel every day. You can control your actions every day. Yeah. And one of the things that I'm seeing now in many people who are really thriving, they are people who are thriving right now. And what they are doing is different. They are using the opportunity to be in this unique state, to identify what they can still be grateful for. For example, if you have a home, if you have a house, if you have internet, you're already ahead of 10% of the global population. Yeah. If you are in a safe country, you're already ahead of an even further amount of the global population. I mean, the fact is, actually 10% is a little bit, it's not the correct math. It's more like 20-30%, right? The fact is 70% of the world is worse off than you are. They may be under lockdown, but they may be in the slums of India. They may be without internet access. They may be in an unsafe country ruled by some dictator. And if you're in the
have no
Western
access
world,
to healthy food, or there are people that
exactly.
have to go to work and put their life at risk,
And the fact is,
even
if
in the
you're in the
Western
US,
world.
which I'm guessing where most of your audience is, or if you're in a
Mm.
well-run country in Europe or in Asia, you're good. Like, you are better than most of the world. And there's a gratitude there that we can find. So the first step is go within to identify what you can be grateful for. Scientists have found that of all the human characteristics, gratitude has the highest correlation with well-being, the highest correlation with well-being. So one of the best practices you can do during this time is to practice what I call triple gratitude. Triple gratitude looks like this. You think of 3 things you can be grateful for in your personal life. So for me, it is that every single day I'm grateful for my coffee. I'm a coffee addict, and
I
I
can
have
see Blue
the
Bottle, and
best
I'm
collection
so
of coffee beans.
jealous. Is
You
that
what?
Blue Bottle beans? Because that's my favorite
Well,
coffee.
I bought this cup. This is a reusable cup. Um, I'm a hardcore environmentalist, so this is a reusable cup from Blue Bottle,
Oh,
yes. But the
yeah.
coffee beans here are these. Um,
Blue Bottle is
it's a
closed,
very
but
unique it's a very unique coffee bean that I'm a big fan of. Okay, but
no.
we'll put that aside
Yeah,
for now. So
perfect.
you
Yeah,
can be grateful for your cup of coffee.
yeah.
And then you can be grateful for your family. I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful for the great food I get to eat every night that is cooked by their mom. It's amazing. The second thing is so the second aspect of gratitude, I said it's triple, right? So it's 3 by 3. It's 3 for personal, 3 for career, 3 for yourself. Then the next 3 is being grateful for your job, your work. And maybe you don't have a job right now. And know that you're not alone. Like, there have been a record number of job losses. Be grateful for the skills that you have. You may not have a job right now, but perhaps you are damn good at project management or event planning, or you were a phenomenal travel agent who knew the best routes for any of your clients. Celebrate that. Acknowledge yourself for that, because that was a big part of your life. Now, the third part of this triple gratitude exercise is really simple. It is be grateful for who you are. This could be your body. It could be the fact that you have great hair. It could be the fact that you're kind, or that you have a good heart, or that you always overtip waiters, or you never pass a homeless person without giving
Mm.
them your spare change. So when you practice triple gratitude, not only do you end up being more able to deal with the presence, but whoosh, you're reorienting your brain to focus on what truly matters. Okay, so that's a key thing. So key aspect of Unfuck. There's a formula. The first one
Mm-hmm.
is shift your feelings to gratitude. Now, the second thing that you can do, so I like to teach through tools, through techniques, through tools.
Mm-hmm.
And very often we get stuck in our own heads. We get stuck in our fears and our anxiety, but they are scientifically designed tools that really help. And because with MindValley, I work with something like 25 massive authors, and then through our podcast, I bring on hundreds more, right? I like to acknowledge the tool, the author, the person who popularized the tool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give you tools from various authors. So the first one, triple gratitude. This comes from a Harvard study. And there were numerous people. There's a whole field of studies on gratitude, but the triple gratitude thing, that comes directly from my book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. But there's a second tool that's really, really, really valuable. And this tool comes from Sonia Choquette. She's a famous writer who's written 20-something books on intuition. And this tool is simply to quiet the mind. So if you're facing fears, if you're facing anxiety, if you find yourself snapping at your partner or your coworkers, a really simple tool to quiet the mind by Sonia Choquette looks like this. So I want you guys to try it with me,
Yeah.
okay? And I'm gonna read it out to you. So again, feel free to look up Sonia Choquette, Choquette. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale. Another deep breath. And exhale. And now what you want to do is open your eyes and just look around you. This is a mindfulness practice. You want to look around you. Maybe it's your keyboard. Maybe it's your cell phone case. But you want to study whatever you can see around you and observe the texture. observe so I'm looking at this USB drive, right now. I can see the texture of the wood. I can feel the smoothness of the drive. It could be something as simple as a USB drive. It could be your table. Run your hands down your table. Observe the texture of the wood. Do you feel anything? Do you sense anything? What temperature do you feel? How does light reflect off this item? When I run my fingers down my table right now, I feel the texture of the wood. I feel tiny little like lines I never felt before. I didn't know you could actually feel these lines. What do you feel? It could be the texture of your jeans. Okay, now, if you check in with yourself, it's only been like maybe a minute and a half, but you will find that you certainly got a lot calmer, significantly calmer. Okay, so that's the second tool. Instantly, you've made yourself a lot calmer. Now, there are other tools that you can apply, and this third tool comes from Kamal Ravikant. Kamal Ravikant is a Silicon Valley investor. I'm looking to see if I have his book on my shelf right now. Don't have it right now, but the book is called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. Love Yourself.
Ooh.
Let me get you the correct name.
I'm happy to post
Love
it in
Yourself,
stories after we're done. For
Kamal.
those who would like to get the actual names, I'll look it up.
Yeah, so it's called his name is Kamal Ravikant. The book is called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. It's a really short book. I believe it's only 80 pages. Strongly recommend it. You can read it in like an hour. Hang on, there's someone at the door. I'll be there. So what you want to do, Kamal suggests a number of different tactics in the book. He suggests 3 ideas, okay? And the book is basically about self-love. Self-love is an essence of being unfuckwittable. The more love you have for yourself, the less you're going to feel the need for validation or the need for appreciation from other people. The less you're going to get triggered when someone criticizes you. So you got to really cultivate self-love. Now, when you practice triple gratitude, the third part of triple gratitude is self-love. But there's another really interesting hack, and Kamal talks about this. In the book, he talks about being so paralyzed with depression that he couldn't get out of bed every morning. And he was getting sick. He started loathing himself. And he tried experimenting with self-love. And there was this one simple technique. There were 3 techniques, but I'll give away one because I want you to read his book if you want to go further. It's look at yourself in the mirror. So you literally, when you're brushing your teeth in the morning, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and pay attention to one eye. Just look at one eye. So as you're brushing your teeth, look at one eye in the mirror and just tell yourself, I love you. I love you. I love you. And just repeat that. I love you. I love you. Within 1 minute. Now, if you're brushing your teeth, well, it'll probably take about 2 minutes, but do it for 2 minutes if you can. And observe how you feel after that. You will feel a really powerful shift. Now, what happens when you start doing this is, not only do you feel the shift instantly, but as you go through life, you will notice you are less triggered. If you see someone post a stupid comment below your social media, you're less triggered. If you're in a relationship with someone and you're trapped in an apartment together right now, you are less triggered if someone does something that you might find annoying. If your boss or your coworker or your spouse or your kid complains about something and you feel personally attacked, you are less triggered.
So while we're in the bathroom, I want you to share what else we can add to our bathroom routine and the mirror with the lipstick, because that was super powerful as well, and it's part of the recipe, right? Because while we're brushing our teeth, telling ourselves that we love each other, what's the one awesome element that's actually in my bathroom thanks to you? Yeah.
Got it. You wanted me to bring in ideas from Marissa Pierre. Okay, but for the sake of the people that's watching, what I'm giving you is a series of routines, rituals, routines that you can put in place, right? And these rituals and routines will create a marked difference in your life. Now, I'm going to repeat again so you know where we are. Number 1, start your day with gratitude or end your day with gratitude. Pick the morning when you wake up or pick at night before going to sleep and practice triple gratitude. The results stay with you. A scientific study, I believe it was at one of the universities of California, found that people who practice gratitude for 30 days at the end of 30 days, they're 25% happier than a control group. But here's the crazy thing. They continued measuring these people 9 months into the future, and they found that even though after the study, these people stopped practicing gratitude because they were no longer in the study, 9 months into the future, they still were happier than the control group. In short, it created a ripple effect that extends into your timeline. You stay happier. If you're grateful today, it's actually going to not just make you happier today, it's going to make you happier in the future. We don't fully understand how this works, but it works. So number one, triple gratitude. Number two, mindfulness. And I showed you basic mindfulness. You don't have to go and sit in the cross-leg positions and chant Om. You just have to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and then with your eyes open, observe the surroundings. The beauty of doing this with your eyes open is that you can do it in a subway car. Not that anyone's taking the subway right now, but you can do it in public. You can do it in a boardroom if you're suddenly tense because you know you're going to have to share an idea. You can instantly get centered. And the third one is also something that you can stick into your day. And that is looking in the mirror and using that I love you technique from Kamal Ravikant. Now you asked for a fourth technique. Well, a fourth technique comes from Marissa Peer. That's M-A-R-I-S-A space Peer, P-E-E-R. And Marissa Peer did an experiment, right? She had people take lipstick and write on their bathroom mirror, I am enough. That's it. Those three magic words, I am enough. And again, if you're a guy, you don't have lipstick, use a marker or write a sticky note and stick it there.
Yeah.
Something is really interesting. It almost serves as a hypnotic command, but it gets you to feel that you are good the way you are. And this doesn't mean that you no longer embrace personal growth. I mean, if you look at my bookshelf, it's all personal growth. But what happens is it makes you feel that you're good. It makes you celebrate yourself. It makes you feel good enough. It makes you feel grateful. And it has the same impact as triple gratitude. When you feel enough, you no longer seek validation from other people. You no longer get really triggered when people act in a way where you don't like, because you feel enough. But you also don't push yourself to chase other goals, other things, because
yes,
we
I
live in
want
a
you to talk a little
society.
bit more about that, because people
Right.
have this idea that if it's enough,
You don't,
then it makes you lazy.
I just want to clarify my point.
Yeah.
It causes feeling enough means you don't feel that you need to chase goals which are not true to you. Goals which are injected into your mind by media or advertising or politicians. Because we live in a world where we are told that that Gucci handbag is what you need to really be accepted, or that you need to buy a certain product or drive a certain car or have a certain title on your business card. And a lot of that is really just cultural programming. So anyway, we've been speaking for 23 minutes. I've given so many tools. Let's switch the conversation to something else.
Well,
And
actually,
I hope this was useful to you guys.
it was useful to me as I was getting ready for this conversation, so I'm sure it has been. And when you're talking about attracting the right things, and I think you explained the law of attraction to me better than anyone else. And the Rumi quote and the idea of really not pursuing things that we're being told. Can you expand on that? Because to me, being stuck in a quarantine, we feel like, we're all of a sudden are taken away from what we think we want. And this is a great time for us to actually wonder what it is that we really want. So what I'm seeking is also seeking me, is attracting me.
Yeah. So let's read out that quote. Okay. So the person who introduced me to this quote is a MindValley author by the name of Sri Kumar Rao. He's a famous MBA teacher. And the quote is this: when I run after what I think I want, my days are a furnace of stress and anxiety. If I sit in my own place of patience, what I need flows to me and without pain. From this I understand what I want also wants me, is looking for me and attracting me. There's a great secret here for anyone who can grasp it. So I'd love for you guys to share your interpretation of that. Write it down. Let me read it out again, okay? When I run after what I think I want, my days are a furnace of stress and anxiety. If I sit in my own place of patience, what I need flows to me and without pain. From this I understand that what I want also wants me, is looking for me and attracting me. There's a great secret in this for anyone who can grasp it.
Mm. I can't wait for the answers. I love that you shared that once you started living that truth, your body appearance has changed. You lost your weight. You started finally stop having all these failures with MindValley, and people stopped stealing from you. You attracted better things in life just
Right.
by realigning yourself with knowing what you actually want and challenging what the society told you to be.
Exactly. So what that quote is really abiding to, you can bring in the works of many different spiritual philosophers. So that is from Rumi. The guy who's popularized it through me is Sri Kumar Rao, the MBA professor. But that quote intersects with the concept of surrender. If you've been reading Michael Singer's work, he had wrote a beautiful book called The Surrender Experiment on surrendering to what the universe needs you to do and what the universe needs you to be. It also ties into the lectures and the teachings of the Reverend Michael Beckwith, who's another MindValley philosopher. Beckwith speaks about this concept called the law of resonance, right? And he also speaks, actually, I'm going to come to that in a moment. He speaks about a concept called wanting and immature wanting. Immature wanting is wanting things that society tells you you need. You need to be married. You need 2 cars in a garage and 2.5 kids. You need to be an entrepreneur. But what if that isn't what you need? What if your soul was here on earth for something different, right? What if your soul was here on earth to learn something through pain? Your soul was here on earth to experience something completely outside what general culture is telling you you need. That is true wanting. So what Beckwith says is that before you set goals, what you need to do is check in with your soul. You need to understand through the process of contemplation or critical reflection or journaling or meditation, you must understand what your soul truly seeks. Now, that's really what Rumi is saying. When I run after what I think I want, my days are a furnace of stress and anxiety. If I sit in my own place of patience, what I need, and what he means by need, is mature wanting. What I need flows to me without pain. From this, I understand that what I want also wants me, is looking for me, and attracting me. So there's a dual magnetism here. If your soul truly wants something, that which your soul wants is also looking for you. And if you can simply live from this perspective of understanding your soul wants and then moving towards them, life ends up flowing a lot more smoothly.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that we started from people feeling paralyzed, being on the couch and feeling like they're not being productive. We moved on to gratitude, so being grateful for what we have. Then we moved on to feeling enough. And once we do feel enough, we attract the right things in our lives.
Right.
So to wrap up, I was blown away by the idea of lofty questions. And for those of you who want to learn more, there's so much more on that on MindValley. So I'm going to
Right.
link it in my stories if you want to learn more. But just to give a little snippet to people, what are lofty questions and why they're more powerful than affirmations?
Okay, so again, let's do a quick recap. We spoke about triple gratitude, the triple gratitude technique. We spoke about Sonia Choquette's mindfulness technique. We spoke about Kamal Ravikant's technique on eye gazing. We spoke about Marissa Peer's technique on writing on the mirror.
Lipstick?
We spoke about Rumi and Sri Kumar Rao's philosophy. We spoke about Michael Beckwith, wanting and immature wanting. This is the fastest lecture I've ever done, by the way.
I
And
know, it's
now
amazing.
you're asking about identity shifting. So to understand identity shifting, let's go back to Michael Beckwith. Okay, Michael Beckwith also spoke about a concept called the law of resonance. Now, Michael Beckwith was a famous teacher. He was in the movie The Secret, and I was having breakfast with him in Portugal a couple of months back, and he mentioned something to me. He said, "Vishen, the law of attraction, that's not it. Really, it's the law of resonance. The universe doesn't give you what you want. The universe gives you who you are." And so I said, "Do explain more." He says, "The universe will reflect to you who you are. It's called resonance. It doesn't give you what you want." And so the law of resonance is how to activate the law of resonance means you shift your identity. You become that which you want to be. And how to do that, there's a very simple mental hack, and it's called lofty questions. The spiritual teacher who popularized this is Christy Marie Sheldon. Again, I am super deliberate about sources, right? Like a researcher, I'm super deliberate about citing sources, because it's also a way for me to give credit to all the amazing teachers in my life. So I took Christy Marie's concept of lofty questions, and you can Google that, Christy lofty questions. You'll find a video. It's a video I actually filmed on my iPhone of her explaining it in 5 minutes. But here's what the technique is. You create a identity statement for who you want to be, right? So an identity statement could be, and you turn it, and it's not an affirmation, rather it's a question. So it might be, so let's say you don't manage money well, but you want to. Your mental dialogue is, I don't manage money well. Oh God, why does money keep slipping out of my hands? I need to learn, take some investment classes. But that mental dialogue is still that. I am not a person who can be trusted with money. The law of resonance kicks in, and you will continue seeing money seep out of your hands. What if you shifted that mental dialogue? Well, lofty questions help you do that. You would create an identity statement that sounds like this, and you would repeat it to yourself once during your morning meditation. The statement would be this: why am I so good at making, keeping, and multiplying money? That's it. Now, you could create statements for every aspect of your life. Why do I have the fit, muscular body of an athlete? Why do I have such an incredible relationship with my children? Why am I so inspiring as a speaker? Why do I have such powerful positivity that it's infectious to everyone around me? So you can create any type of question. But the thing is, if you start with an affirmation, affirmations were actually proven to not be very effective in the 80s by Jose Silva, the mind science researcher, also part of MindValley. But when you use a lofty question, you trick your brain, and you are commanding your subconscious to start searching for the answers to why you have a fit muscular body, to why you're so good at managing money, to why you have such a great relationship with your kid, and you will find that the law of resonance starts kicking in. You start believing that you are that way, and you will start seeing synchronicities show up to get you in that direction. You literally will start seeing, I know it may sound bizarre when I say this, but you start bending reality. You will start noticing synchronicities, coincidences. I've even had situations where the right book would fall off a bookshelf and land on my head, right?
Wow.
To get you to this, to who you want to be. So, and it's a really powerful technique. So definitely Google it, look it up, and it's worth applying into your life. Now, I put all of this together. If you guys want to learn more, go to mindvalley.com/learn-meditation. All of these techniques are in a concept I created called the 6-phase meditation. It's used by so many professional athletes, celebrities, musicians. You can Google it. There are articles about it all around the web. It's used by pro athletes in the NBA, the NFL, and all of these techniques, many of these techniques are stacked together in there, and the program is completely free. Go check it out, mindvalley.com/learn-meditation.
So many beautiful nuggets, Vishen. Thank you so much for your time. I feel like in 30 minutes, you managed to talk about everything that I really wanted you to ask. Wow, so many tools. I'll
Well,
link
to give you
everything
credit, Aggie, you really did research. You know exactly what to ask.
I told you I have about enough questions for about a million years, because I was so inspired by you, because you come across super humble and super laid back. And all of a sudden I learned your story and how much work you put into yourself. And that made me respect you so much more than I already respected you before. So you're awesome. And thank you so much for your time. For those of you who need help with resources and links, I'm going to link them in my stories just in case. You're the best. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Stay safe.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.